All right. Fantasy Bros in full effect. Week 10. Corey Maurer, Warpigs, Jeff Kennedy,
Whoa.
Cartel. Two of the most recent winners in the MFL Cup. I think we have earned the right to do this every week to show you minions what you need to do with your team. So Corey, appreciate you as always coming on today. Let's jump right into it. Honestly, a lot of fucking boring games this week. Let's talk about the schedules here. You can see that.
It's almost like with the weather getting worse, that scoring is down somehow.
Could be.
I mean, I don't know if that's the reason. It could be lots of things. People getting hurt, people getting sick and coming back and playing like crap. That kind of stuff. Two of the best quarterbacks in the league both doing nothing and look pretty bad.
Yeah, great trade. Good thing to trade Prescott, who blows up, for Jackson, who has average week. I feel like last week was weird because it was actually low scoring games and there's a lot of upsets. This week,
Yeah,
the teams they were blowouts. It felt like there was only like two teams that were even close at the end on Monday night. Everything else was decided by 20 or more points.
yeah. Sorry.
What are you doing? You texting me?
No.
Trade offer? You're gonna trade me somebody else? Hold on. What?
No.
You're gonna give me just kidding. All right.
I'm gonna give you somebody else's team. And then you have to give me the other guy. Yeah. Anyway. So what are we going over? We're going over standings here.
Yeah, it's your superstar division.
Yeah. So this was a big one that we'll go over that game later. Blues and Pigs played each other. It makes a huge difference in the standings now. War Pigs 2 games back of the Blues, who continue to be decimated by injury, but it didn't matter. Bots, who cares? Kielbasa Kings gets a win. Some reason happy about it, trying to play himself out of higher picks. We got the All-American division. Cartel with his 4th win in a row. Sticky
Right.
Loses.
That's right.
Getting really close to not being able to compete for that top spot in that division now.
I will
3.5 games
say,
back.
I will jump in and say one thing. You notice how Broad Street Bullies is like right behind Sticky Bandits?
Yep.
That happens in real life too. He's used to Terry being right behind him all the time, like up on his back, kissing him in the ear, like you can feel his breath in the back of his neck. I
was
get
going
it.
to say something very similar. So we all know that how Terry is, and
Don't
it's
get
pretty
bullied.
obvious from what he says. But yes, he is currently 1 game back of 2nd place and pretty much 1 game back of the wild card still, amazingly, even after losing at 4 and 6. Bionic Commandos win, which again hurts his draft pick standing more than anything else. He's 3 and 7.
With the same points against as Sticky Bandits.
Right. And then
higher points for.
If we scroll down, we got the Power Pack division. Untouchables lost second game in a row here. Biohazard's on a roll since being laughed at as a horrible team and owner. Just kidding. Has now won 4 in a row. So now he's only 1 game back in that division. And that is an interesting race right there. Mm-hmm. Bad Company, really only 1 game out of the wild card, but decided to blow his team up for the good of the MFFL, I think, to prove a point, right? That's what we're doing, Dave. And the Lead Dogs win their 2nd in a row, and all of a sudden, now he's back in the race.
Yep.
So yeah, so go up a little bit so we can see the whole thing if we can there.
Can't get it all on, but
close enough. There you go. You got it all. So look, the superstar division is not over. That's only 2 game difference between the Pigs and the Blues. The Blues, again, just don't have players anymore at this point. Missed out on the rental deluge apparently as well. So I don't know again, I don't know how he won that game, but he did. Going forward here, I just don't see, unless some of these players come back, that he's got enough talent to hold on to that spot. I don't. I think it's going to be hard for him not to make the playoffs, but I don't know if he can hold on to this top spot in that division.
I don't know.
And then
New
All
trading.
American division, you're 8-1-1. You pretty much have a lock at this point. Again, it's not a lock, but it's pretty close to being a lock in that division. Sticky's 5-5, Broad Street 4-6, War Pigs 5-5, Biohazard 6-4, Bad Company. I don't know if he's going to win any more games now, but he could be in it. Lead Dogs at 4-6. So you basically only have Kielbasa Kings, and honestly, Commandos are still in this too at 3-7 if he put together a run. So almost no one's out. There are no locks at this point. Again, I would say that Cartel has the best chance to win the division of any of them and being up the most games too. So this is completely wide open, and we have how many weeks left?
3 or 4.
Yeah. So this is still completely wide open, and almost everyone still has a chance to make it. And
There's 3 more games.
3 more.
Yeah.
And almost every division is still open to, I mean, you could lose 3 games in a row here,
For sure.
right? I don't think you're going to, but you know, I think the Blues are in the most precarious situation, even though he's up 2 instead of 1 game because of injuries, and the Hazards, the Untouchables, that could flip very easily over the next 3 weeks. So this might be the closest race for the playoffs I've seen in a long time. There's nobody's 10-0, and you know, there seem to always be a couple teams that are like, oh, he's in, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, mathematically, all that's correct. I think with the trades that happened today, Untouchables is obviously the clear winner to win the Power Pack division. I should win All-American. You and the Blues. I mean, Blues just made a trade today to get rid of Jones for Melvin Gordon, picked up AJ Brown. So that's going to strengthen him. I still favor him to win the division. So the battle's going to be for the other 3 spots for the wild card. Bots can't win. I don't think that they will anyways. I think personally it's going to be War Pigs, Sticky, and Biohazards. But you know,
Yeah,
a lot of
I mean,
games could do anything. Injuries could happen. Your quarterback could get injured in the first play of the first quarter and get no points and lose. Like shit just happens, right?
Yep.
That's the luck part. Okay, cool. Let's go into the games. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this today because, like I said, most of them were pretty big blowouts, so we don't need to, you know, I can go too deep in it.
Yeah. We don't want to go too deep in it like Terry does.
This was actually one of the good ones, though. So let's talk about this.
Yeah. Well, technically, it's a close game. I wouldn't say it's a good game. We're talking mid-80s again. But definitely a close game and an important one in that division more than anything else.
Oh, should I take this off so you can do your post editing?
No, this is fine for now. I'm talking more like later where we're just shooting the shit about not specific things, you know. But yeah, so Josh Allen woke up. Connor continues to be the highest scoring running back in the league. Dalvin Cook is still playing somehow. I guess it takes a little longer to determine.
Finally got a touchdown. He had like 3 snaps at it from the 1 yard line, couldn't get it in. They ended up turnover on downs. Like he finally got a touchdown, which was good.
Antonio Gibson, that was his first game back after a few weeks, right? So he
against Tampa
up,
which is
and then the rest of his team did nothing. So that was all running back and quarterback, and he got nothing from anyone else, including literally Fukusiki.
Yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase was on bye. You're not going to play Traquan over anybody.
Right.
And he played the right lineup.
So you got that. Yeah, you got the Hazards somehow getting almost 20 points from Trevor Siemian. You know, he's putting this lineup together right now with tape and dirt and all this other kind of crap, and he still won. And obviously the huge one here is Deebo Samuel, almost 25.5 points, just an insane game. When again, Well, the other big one is McCaffrey, right? He didn't get the touchdown, but he got everything else.
Yeah.
And so that was huge. But again, that's it. So you got two teams here that you got 3 or 4 guys and everybody else shut down. So this, again, close, good matchup. Not a high scoring game.
I'm going to say 3 things about Biohazard's team. One is this is the second or third week he's had to stream a quarterback. And each time he seems to pick the right one. He keeps getting 15, 20 points. So good job.
I wish I could do that.
Josh Jacobs continues to suck. That's all I'm saying about that. And then the other thing is when Deebo Samuel caught that pass and then made that, he just darted up with the defenders. I could hear in my house in North Carolina, half of that fell scream. Yes, we are so glad that Josh lost. So that was awesome. Pretty good. All right. Next one up, let's do the game of the week, I think.
Wow, this was brutal. I mean, this is I don't have anything else to say, man. This is the, as I said, I complain about constantly, the epitome of luck, because the Blues got the 20 from Hurts. That was a given. He's been doing that all year. That's not surprising. Aaron Jones didn't really do very much. You get Devin Singletary, who he's forced to play because of injury, and that's his first touchdown since week 2. He's done nothing all year. That's the first time he's been in double digits, I believe, since week 2. Nobody else, his receivers did nothing. Again, decimated by injuries. Not saying he's got a bad team or he played it wrong. He doesn't have any choices, right? George Kittle's 11 pretty much won him the game.
No, it was Matt Gay's field goal with
down by. I wasn't even watching at this point of the day.
Yeah.
I had given up after my great matchup, my homeboy Carson Wentz, after 3 weeks of 20 plus points, gives me 7. And I just said, well, I guess I'm going to lose. And then my receivers were like, yeah, we don't want to play this week. Let's go for season lows. And they all did it at the same time. And that's garbage. That's just garbage.
You both scored under 70. Neither of you deserve to win.
No, yeah.
One of you had to win, unfortunately. I would love to see a 0-0 tie. And there is some luck. I mean,
listen, but here's the difference. Nandu didn't have a choice, right? He had to play bums.
Well, he
started Van Jefferson. I like Marvin Jones, but he's 45 years old.
Yeah, he could have played Aaron Rodgers over
Jalen
Hurts, though. But he could have played Aaron Rodgers over Jalen Hurts. He would have lost. You could have picked up literally any other quarterback. You would have won. That's not luck. That's choice.
No, it's luck because I picked the right guy and he didn't perform.
Carson Wentz isn't the right guy at any level anywhere. You picked him up. I was like, ooh, I don't know what that was.
Anyway, we can debate that all we want. The whole point is the rest of my lineup, that's my starters.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Those are all starters. There's no mistakes there. I started everybody I was supposed to, and everybody laid down. So anyway, move on. We're spending too long on this. Awful game.
Disgusting. This game, we don't really care about the bots. I really do like their team, though. I mean, they had a bunch of guys that were hurt, but when they get Chubb, Robinson, and DeAndre Swift going with Matthew Stafford, Lockett and Godwin, that's a solid of a 5 as anybody in the league. So that's a good solid base. But they lost to the Kings, which was everybody was surprised. We even betted, both of us said that they would lose. That was before we got Patrick Mahomes.
Well, and again, this is one of my everybody likes to make fun of me for. Who's Brian Edwards?
Yeah, he's
Brian Edwards puts up
wide receiver 3 that's in for Ruggs since Ruggs is out.
Right. So Brian Edwards gets almost 15 points. Darrell Williams goes for 20. And obviously Mahomes got tired of being a typical sneakerhead. So he decided to play football this week for once and just completely blew up. And then, like Mike was saying, he gets Ramondre Stevenson on his bench, just completely blowing up.
Yep.
And I don't know if you remember this, but a few years ago in Belichick's system, I can't even remember his name because the dude blew up and then you never heard from him again. Because Belichick was like, yeah, you feel it yourself a little too much, young buck, you're out. And we never heard from him again. So you almost wonder if Stevenson's even going to get played the rest of the year.
Well, and,
knows what he's
and Damian Williams is supposed to come back. That's his name, Damian Williams is supposed to come back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'll be a committee.
That will be Stevenson's story for his grandkids when he's older. It was week 10 in 2021, and I had 23 points on the Kielbasa Kings
Look
bench.
over here. Kendrick Bourne
Yeah.
went off Patriots. Like,
again,
you can't bet on that stuff. This one, another blowout. Not much to talk about.
yeah, this ends bad company season, right? This is the game that was too much for Dave to take.
I
He got
guess.
blown out by the lead dogs. They both are 4-6 now, and the big one here is he picks up Russell Wilson. Used an actual waiver spot to pick up Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson obviously wasn't ready to play. And I am not, that wasn't the game by itself, but you get 24 from AJ Dillon, you think you got a shot, right? I mean,
I feel like whenever you start, Kenyon Drake is one of your top receivers. Top running backs, you're probably going to lose.
Yeah, but look at the receivers. Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, and DK Metcalf, and he gets a combined 20.
Well, I mean, if you someplace earlier today on Slack, I made a comment. Maybe it was out loud, maybe it was somebody privately, I don't remember, but I don't value wide receivers like I value running backs because there's fucking 3 of them and a tight end. And they have so yes, they can get 90-yard bomb. You're not going to get that in a running back, but in general, there's a greater chance that a wide receiver is not going to have as solid or consistent of a game as there is a running back one. That's just the way it goes. So yeah, you got Adams, Cooper, or Kupp, and Metcalf. That's the 3 of the top 5 wide receivers in the fucking league.
Yep.
NFL right now on one team. Can you imagine in real life if that happened?
Yeah.
The odds of them all blowing up at the same time is equal to the odds of them doing this, which is not blow up at the same time. So when you have Mixon and Montgomery, 2 good running backs that are on bye, and you're stuck with Kenyon Drake, and you pick up Russell Wilson, who's still got more points than Carson Wentz, then this is the story we're up with. And on the other side, I'm going to give props to Rodney because we know everyone has given him shit for how many years we played. Well, Dak has a great game. Dearness Johnson, who he picked up, like he's made some smart waiver plays. Devontae Smith finally shows up. Kelsey, did a good game. Like if you can put up 108 points, there's teams probably in the league that haven't scored 108 points all season. And Rodney did. So maybe they're catching fire. Who knows?
Hey, the second highest scoring team this week keeps him in the race. He's actually still in the race now because of this game. And so, yeah, this was a massive game for him. And we'll see. He's got
CEH and Kareem Hunt are coming back this year. CEH will be back next week. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Know. All right, good there. We did that one. Let's do this one. Now this one.
Highest scoring team of the week, Bionic Commandos. Not mathematically eliminated, but very close, and ends up with the most points of the week. Yet everybody in double digits. Corey Davis 9.3, but everybody else except for kicker and special teams gets double digits. That's a massive week. I don't know how Melvin Gordon is still scoring, and I know there's what's the backup dude's name that Mike's been waiting for all season to take over, but it's not going to happen. He's still got it. So
but Bionic just traded Melvin Gordon to Nandu,
right?
So
and Stephon Diggs finally had a great game, all Buffalo pretty much, and Tyreek showed up at the same time again. So that's that receiver thing you're talking about. One week they can blow up, and the next week they can do nothing, and you've seen that all season with Tyreek and Stephon Diggs too, and that's why he's 3-7.
Yeah,
because those guys are great, but any given week they can put up a 3 spot instead. So
and they have them with DeAndre Hopkins, like all of them. There's just Jefferson. There's rare that you'll find a wide receiver that has 20 points every game. Maybe Coop's closest to it, or Cup's closest to it.
Sticky on the other side.
But go ahead. This game was actually close. Sticky was done, or at some point, maybe the late games, it looked like they were going to be like within a point or 2 of each other, and then all of a sudden, Bionic just took off and then never got close again. And there's nothing that Sticky could have done to win this game. Look at his bench. Even if he had played Hunter Henry, he just would have lost, 100 to 114. It was destined to lose.
Yeah, and again, you're right. That was close, and it's a massive game, unfortunately for him too. Bad timing to lose this game. And again, not his fault. It's just the way it turned out. Justin Herbert with 14 is not great. Henderson with 4. I don't know what is up with the Rams. A lot of people are going to start blaming Stafford now that he
That was
brought the
game
Lions
script.
mojo
When they
away
got
from them.
behind, they stopped running. That was game script.
All of a sudden, the Rams don't look good, right? They've lost what, 3 of the last 4 games or something. So Mike Evans did pretty well. Justin Jefferson with another good game. Dawson Knox comes back. Buffalo puts up 45 and he gets 1 catch. So I don't know. You know, that was a big trade at the time. It seemed like he was going to be a great tight end. I'm not saying he's not going to be, but he might have some decisions there if Hunter Henry's going to. And New England itself, you know, again, New England looks good. I don't know what's going on there, but they look good. So he might have some decisions tight end wise to make there.
Well, then you realize on New England, you thought it was a Belichick, is it Brady? Is it Belichick? Is it Brady? It's fucking both. Like, no wonder they won so many times. Brady leaves and he wins his bowl. You know, Belichick keeps rolling with fucking Mac Jones and, you know, pieces of paper for wide receivers. Like, they just do it.
Yeah.
System.
Yep.
All right, good there.
Just yours. Yep.
Oh yeah.
This was
curb stomping I'm supposed to get from Terry.
Yeah. And you know, for a minute it looked like it was possibly going to happen too. Not a curb stomping, but it was going to be
Kamara out.
It's typical bad mojo. Something's bad's going to happen. You're going to get screwed. And
remember, it was Kamara out with knee. Right. And then it was Marquise Brown. Hollywood Brown got 3 points on Thursday night.
Yep.
Cordell Patterson got hurt like the first half of the game. So I'm like, well, here we go.
Yep. But talent overtook it. And again, Bullies are still in the race at 4 and 6. The dude's team has some interesting players on it. I don't know what else to say.
It looks like if Broad Street Bullies team was a woman, it'd be like going to, I'm trying to think, like going to like an Inkster Walmart. It'd be like somebody that would shop there is what it would look like. I'm sure they're nice, right? But
you could just say Walmart. You didn't have to add Inkster.
No, Inkster add a little extra to it. So yeah, not for me. All right, cool. That's good. Good. Best of luck, Terry. Next season. Who else we got here? That's all of them?
That was all of them.
All right, cool. Let me get out of this. Stop sharing.
Yeah, there you go.
And then Nandu just said he's gonna jump on in just a second. That's our guest of honor.
I wouldn't call it honor, but okay. Well, yeah, so I don't know what you had planned here. Did you have something planned in the meantime for a second or no?
Well, we were going to do our precast for next season, and I talked about doing a bit on if our teams in the MFL were NFL teams, which team would it be? And I started looking at like the records, but our records don't match up evenly with the team, so it can't do it directly. What we could do is we could talk about the team in general, like let's use Nandu as an example. What's a team in the NFL that's had like a ton of injuries, they still seem to be winning and they're in a good shape, but like they've lost a bunch of players, that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, that would require research for me to make an educated comment on that, which I did none. But
I was gonna say it's like Baltimore. Like they lost all the running backs.
Yeah.
All of the running backs, and then the third string running backs, they brought Le'Veon Bell back from the 90s, right? So like
he looks like it too.
2000s. So like, yeah, that's what I was gonna do. We can do that a different week though. That's fine. I didn't have time to research today.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, what do you think, regardless of how the players were acquired, what do you think of some of these teams with drastically different lineups, honestly?
Well, it's hard to precast because you don't know who the fuck's on any given team.
Well, as you said earlier, you know, I think a lot of people think with Untouchables was already 7-3, but he did just lose 2 games in a row. But now he's added, who did he add today?
Cooper Kupp, right?
Oh, Cooper Kupp, right. So now he's running out Josh Allen, the leading running back who he got last week. He got Connor last week. Antonio Gibson back healthy, and Dalvin Cook, who even if he doesn't keep playing, he's got Madison anyway, who looks good when Cook doesn't play. So you got 3 running backs. You got Josh Allen. Now he's got Jamar Chase. And I guess you run Cook out there instead of Diggs, right?
I mean,
I don't know how you sit Cup. You can't sit Cup. You can't sit Jamar Chase. And I don't see how you sit Connor, Cook, or Gibson.
that's the
Right.
platform, right? So you can get all of the players on, but choosing who to play in the week, choosing the right player, all of that is going to be the challenge. And then the other challenge, and I haven't looked at his draft picks yet, but what kind of capital did he have to give up to accumulate all of that? A worst case scenario for him, for me, for anybody that's doing this stuff, is you trade away you mortgage your future for now. You pick the wrong players, or you pick the players that you got. Like I just got Lamar Jackson. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna kill it. Puts up 17 points.
Right.
Dak Prescott puts up 27. Like I could have kept my pick. I kept Prescott, it would have been fine. Like you just don't know for sure what's gonna happen. I've tried to trade for Dalvin Cook. I've tried to trade for Saquon Barkley. I've tried to trade for all these players this year, and all of a sudden people get hurt. I'm like, oh my God, I'm glad that Nandu didn't give me Aaron Jones, or I'm glad that whatever. Like you just don't know what's gonna happen. So on the face of it today, it looks like, yeah, Untouchables team is better. Maybe Cup hits a fucking, maybe Allen gets hurt and they got, I don't even know who the backup quarterback is in Buffalo and no one can throw to Cup. Like we just don't know yet. So
Sure, but I don't think there's a way you can argue his team's not better. It
No,
might
it is
not work out, but his team is better.
It is better,
Right.
it's better on paper, the better potential than he had yesterday or
Right.
2 hours ago, for sure.
And as of right now, and the way it went down is a discussion for a different day. There's zero chance my team's not better right now. I just picked up Joe Mixon to go with Eckler, who are basically the same player points wise, 142 and 137 on the season. So Mixon instead of Gaskin, who is sitting at 78
100%.
on one of the worst teams in the league.
100%.
And now, so there's my 2 running backs. Now I've got Devontae, who automatically becomes my best receiver. I didn't have anybody with over 100 points receiving wise. Devontae's at 104. I'm throwing him in there with either Deontay Johnson, McLaurin, or Thalen. Thalen actually pretty close to 100 at 96. And then the rest of the team's the same. Obviously, I'm going to be streaming quarterbacks or picking up somebody else again this coming week. So that's the question mark on my end. But everything else there, I'm set. I don't need to do anything else. I just need to find a quarterback at this point. So
just keep wins. We already have them. Save $5.
Yeah, I don't think so. And then, well, I know there was something. We're still not hearing from Nandu, right?
He's coming. He's texting me a minute ago. He's probably
We can
getting
talk about his trade when he shows up here. But the other one, I'm scrolling through the transactions right here real quick. Is there anything else? I mean, I guess. Well, that's a Nandu. I don't think there was any other big trades here. It was just Nandu and me and Untouchables that kind of solidified rosters.
Yeah, not doing the Kings. I like Mahomes for Rodgers and Higgins and Akers makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't a big deal. And then he just traded just recently Aaron Jones and Mike Williams away Bionic for Melvin Gordon and AJ Brown. I mean, I think Aaron Jones is a great running back. He's splitting with Dylan and he's hurt. Melvin Gordon's also splitting, but not hurt. And right now, Blues needs the points. Mike Williams is underperforming.
I mean, that's the problem, right? There's no way normally he would give up Aaron Jones in that situation.
No.
But I think hopefully we get him on here, but I think he's desperate right now. He needs Melvin Gordon's 10 points a game.
That's right. And trade deadlines this week. If it was in a week, you probably would wait till here he's coming on now.
Yeah. Perfect timing. And we're going to just do our little dance until he says something.
He's coming on right now.
Can you speak? Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
From the ether. What is
Can
up
hear ya.
there? We got half his head. There we go.
Nandu, welcome to the Fantasy Bros. Or as we call you after this last week's loss, Nandu. Nice to see you.
Good to see you too. What's good?
Just got done with our recap from last week. Going to do our pre-cap for next week. We'd like to have our guest speakers on, and we thought who better to have than one and only Honolulu Blues. Talk to you a little bit about your team, how you're feeling about it right now. It seems like
wonderful,
dropping like flies.
every day,
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah, so really, we just mentioned this, but we wanted to get your take on the trade that you had to make. Is that how you feel about it? You had to make it because of injury, and this is the last week to make trades, and you need the points, basically.
Yeah. I think that there's a bit of obviously it's an arms race. There's an arms race today. There's an arms race going on. I mean, you guys just dropped, your deal with Adams, and I'm like, all right, well, I need to make some changes to keep up with the Joneses, and I need to shore up some weak spots with all these injuries. So, Jeff and I have made a couple of trades in the past, like we made a trade earlier this year. So he and I were kind of talking. I felt like we had some, we had a rapport there. And so I'm just looking at this here. We made a deal earlier, and I told him, I was like, I felt bad because I thought that the trade we had earlier this year was actually a pretty good one. But, the guy that I traded, thinking, I traded him Gainwell, one of the Philly running backs. And I was like, well, Philly's actually a team that could score a lot of points, depending on the matchup. Miles Sanders is hurt. So you get him, and I'll throw in somebody else. I think I threw Adam Diggs. And I threw him Diggs because I thought that was really expensive. And then, Gainwell lays an egg. They're doing this running back by committee. So I told him, I felt bad, but I thought it was a good deal. But then, of course, Robert Woods got hurt. So I'm like, all right, well, worked out for him anyway. So, and I think he got a draft pick out of it too. So anyway, to answer your question, I was more or less just trying to keep up with Joneses and shore up some of these weaknesses that I have on my team. So.
Inquiring minds want to know, now that you're over the salary cap, who are you going to drop?
That's a good question. I got to find a kicker, so I got to figure that out. I'll probably drop, I don't know, I'll probably drop Marvin Jones because he's so damn expensive, I like him. I drafted him, but, that
no QB.
Offense.
He got no QB. He's throwing for 200 yards a game. Like there's no.
Yeah. And I would have thought like by now they got a decent receiving core. I mean, Jones is a good receiver. I guess they let Chark is hurt and Keelan Cole isn't there anymore. So but Arnold, they traded for Arnold. He's good. I would just go show you how hard it is to have to have an offense where you got a rookie quarterback, because the floor is just low.
Yeah.
Well, I want to give props where props is due. I have learned a lot about fantasy football from watching your moves. So I have this little bracelet that's like, what would Jesus do? But mine says, what would Nandu do? And I wear it all the time. And I'm always like, when you make a pickup, I'm like, who the fuck is that? And I go right to my Yahoo league, and I'm like, boop, I pick who he is, and I'm going to pick him up because I just want to be smart. And no, but really, you look deeper than the points. You're looking at like the offensive line injuries and the scheme and who the offensive coordinator is. And is it going to be, what's the humidity level in the field that day? And I'm like, I'm doing all these like mathematical equations. So I built my team in the template of the old school Honolulu Blues.
Well, you did a good job, man.
Well, thank you. So I appreciate it. Keep it up. Don't keep it up this year. Do a different year.
Jeff, there's something on your nose. It's kind of brown. You want to wipe that? There you go. Got that? Yeah, there you go.
Listen, on the whole conversation about injuries, your team has been decimated, right? I mean, Jones and Derrick Henry was the biggest one. Like, okay, just a flesh wound. I can get you going. Then Joe's went down. Then you had somebody else. Like, as you guys might know, might or might not know, Cordell Patterson has a sprained ankle. So he's out for a couple.
Oh, wow.
You see that?
Okay, I didn't know that.
He has a high ankle sprain. He'll be out for a couple of weeks. But I just recently joined a fan club for Cordell Patterson. They sent me this shirt.
Oh my
God.
I love it.
That's for you, Bruni. That's for you, Bruni.
I love it.
So you bought the shirt and then he got hurt immediately.
No, I want the shirt after he got hurt because I trust in him.
Oh, okay.
Don't care.
I just wanted to.
Did you draft him? Or was he a
No.
free agent?
He was a waiver wire pickup.
Yeah. And what was your thinking when you picked him up?
I was looking for, I had
You
some
like
money
his
to spend
name?
on salary. So I went shopping. So I went in there to see who fit the salary cap that I needed. I knew Davis was in Carolina. He wasn't super great. I just didn't like him. So I thought, well, maybe if he gets hurt, Patterson will be okay. I didn't think Davis would suck as bad as he has, or I didn't know that Patterson was also a wide receiver. So that was a surprise, and he's just done really well.
Yeah, he's been great, man. That was a revelation. I was like, man, I feel like a lot of people are really slow to adjust to the fact that he was such a big part of their offense. And Davis is just dust. So it's like, basically him and Pitts and Ridley for a while until he, decided to take a step away. So
big catch.
Yeah, now it's impressive.
Getting Tim to change him from a wide receiver to a running back, which was an act of Congress because he was a wide receiver in the system.
Yeah.
And show him proof of when he was a wide receiver, a running back, the whole thing. That helped me because I needed depth at my my running back spot. So that the playing field for me.
Yeah, I mean, Corey, I know you have this like doom, this doom scenario point of view, but like I have to tell you, I was pretty sure I was lose by 2 points, not win by 2. I was positive of it. I was like, I'm not even gonna watch. You said you didn't watch. I didn't either.
I didn't know. I didn't watch it. And then somebody said something like, "Oh, you got like 3 minutes left for a win," because I was up by 2 with like 3 minutes left or something. And I was like, "I'm not watching it. I'm not gonna watch it. This is a terrible game." And then I was like, "Eh."
Let me tell you what happens. They're down by 20 points with 3 minutes left. It's 4th down. You just go for the touchdown, right? They're like, no, we're gonna kick a meaningless field goal, and you won on that. It's amazing.
That's where, like, I think people overvalue the luck factor, because I think that there is a lot of like understanding like volume. Like Mike Smook always gives me crap because he says, I know you don't care about tight ends. And I'm like, well, it's not that I don't care about tight ends. It's just that like, it's when you're in a league where there's no PPR points, you're very dependent on touchdowns, and like touchdowns are real fluky, right? Like I always say that look at James Conner, right? He's like this blockbuster running back because he gets all these like goal line touches, but on a volume basis, he really is not that great of a running back, but they have a high explosive offense and he's getting all these carries. So I'm always like, it's all about the volume, who's getting the touches and who's scoring the most points. Like it really is that simple. And so much of this for me is like, who's getting the touches? Like who's a big part of the offense? And so, Patterson's a big part of that in that Atlanta team. I mean, Corey, that's what I was saying earlier about Adams. Like, I think it's a risky move, but Adams is like that whole offense. You know what I mean? Like, you're basically walking in every game, kind of like when Henry was playing. Like, every game, you're like, well, theoretically, you probably think 10 points at a minimum, right? It's probably a floor for Adams every week, which is nice in this league.
He's going to get 10 targets. It just depends on how many he's going to catch, right? So
yeah.
Well, and if we switch over to a half-point PPR next season, which I think is in the discussion, then that also opens the playing field for other players that don't score touchdowns to now become valuable.
Right.
Maybe a little bit of a pivot and a shift as the things.
So listen, we got 4 weeks, right? 4 weeks left, 4 games left.
Wow.
Three regular season, then the bye week, and then 2 weeks.
So, okay. So listen, I'm looking at your lineup here, and as we just said, you had to make some moves to stay on the positive. Right now, your highest scoring wide receiver is the guy you just traded for, AJ Brown.
Yeah.
At 75 points this year. And I'm looking at this, and you might cut Marvin, whatever. I don't know if that's really going to make. Those guys are kind of all interchangeable if you look at the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling about the end of the season here? Because right now you're up 2 games in our division. We don't play each other again, right? And if I'm being honest, because I always am, right? I got to favor myself with my lineup right now, but I'm 2 games back. So do you feel like you're going to hold on to this, or do you feel like with what you've got right now, this is going to be, you're going to be hard pressed to hold on to that 2-game lead coming down.
Well, I mean, I think that if I win this weekend, that I'm sitting pretty good, actually. Is
Who
what
do
I
you play
think.
this week? Do you know? Is it
Bionic Commandos.
the guy that just put up
So,
114?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The guy that just put up 114, but you
Yeah,
know,
but if Jones doesn't play and Carson doesn't play, then he's stuck with Gainwell and Boston Scott as his running back.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it's. I think that it's less than ideal. My situation's less than ideal, but like my whole approach this whole year has been, I think my original sin was just holding on to Mahomes, even though it crushed me to get rid of him, like, because I basically had been with him since day one. But I think my original sin was just getting rid of him because just eating up a lot of salary. I should have just kept Chubb and dumped Mahomes, but I couldn't get rid of Mahomes for whatever reason. So and now that I'm stuck with this, like I try to approach it where I was like, look, I'm going to take as many of these second tier running backs as I can and hope that someone gets hurt. It worked out with Gainwell because I was able to turn him around for someone else, but then Woods, who I got back. Well, I also got Hurts too, so that helps.
Yeah.
But I like Hurts. I think he's got a really nice ceiling. Harris, I think, is a temporary thing, but New England's kind of a pain in the ass running back situation often. I think my wide receiver situation is probably better now than it was at the beginning of the year, even with Williams. So I just think people have figured out LA a little bit, like they're really limiting a lot of these big plays, kind of like the same thing with Tyreek, where they're trying to really limit a lot of the big plays with him. So look, it's a long season. I know we only have 3 or 4 weeks left, but I mean, I have a nice cushion. If I could win this week, then I think I'm basically kind of hoping, look, man, it seems weird things happen. The year that you won, you and I played each other, is one of those things. Like a couple of those guys didn't play and, I lost. And that kind of happens with fantasy football. So that's kind of more or less what I'm hoping on. Thankfully, I got a nice jump. And if it doesn't work out, I haven't mortgaged away a whole lot for next year and I can kind of focus on next year. That's kind of my thought process.
I'm calling it here in game 13, week 13. Rodgers on a bye, Ron's on a bye. It's going to be a pivotal game. You're going to be playing somebody that's going to matter. You need to win to get the first seed, and you're going to lose by a half of a point. Rounds on the bye, and then you're gonna be like, "Fucking Kennedy called that."
It wouldn't surprise me, man. Would not surprise me one effing bit, man. One effing bit. That's how this shit happens, man. I mean, who do I even play down the stretch?
Well, I was going to say, I was just looking at that actually, and we pretty much have the same opponents, just in different weeks. We both play the Kings. So you would think that would be a win for both of us.
Nick, he plays the Bandits, which will be a big game. And then week 13, he plays the Bots and then the Biohazards last week. There's 4 games left.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So, and like I said, I've got the Bots left. I've got the Kings left, as you do. I've got the Bandits as well. So we could easily both lose to his team. And I have the Commandos the week after you do. So I think it's a crapshoot because you've got a 2-game lead. This weekend, this awful 60-point head-to-head game that we had, that was massive. That was a massive win for you. And at this point, I don't care about the division. I just want to get into the playoffs. So,
right.
I don't think anybody is going to be upset if they don't win the division as long as they get in and they've got a shot, right? That's
I agree.
The Bots being a bot team gives somebody else an opportunity to win. So that actually it's easier to get in the playoffs this year than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick before you go, week 11 head-to-head matchups. I'm gonna have you do as a guest. You can do one or a few words. You don't have to give us a big debriefing. But go ahead. Bots and untouchables. Who wins? You're on mute, I think. I can't hear you.
Come on, Nandu, work that technology, man.
It's working perfectly.
I'm not on mute.
There you go. Now you're good.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's
It
weird.
says my internet connection is unstable. I think that it's going to be a very interesting. You know what I need to look at real quick? The Bots. Who's there? Well, I guess we got to figure out who
The bots
they're gonna-
have Stafford on bye, number
Yeah,
one.
they got him
and he
on
doesn't have
bye,
a
yeah.
quarterback. So we're
Yeah.
gonna be looking at who the commissioner picks to plug in there. Number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
He's got James Robinson at San Francisco, Swift at
Yeah.
Cleveland, Lockett versus Arizona, Godwin at the Giants, Kyle Pitts at New England. And we still don't know if
untouchable.
Chubb's playing, right? We still don't know if Chubb's gonna play or not.
I think he's probably fine because I believe Chubb is vaccinated. So I think that he's fine
Yeah.
in terms of the next game. But I'd give the nod to untouchables just because they
Oh, for
have
sure.
Allen's playing. You've got Cook, you got Connor because Edmonds is going to be out for a while. And then even regardless of whatever happens, you've got Chase. Actually, he's got that stack with Allen and Diggs now. So he's got Diggs, Chase, Allen. And he can figure it out at tight end. Tight end's kind of a crapshoot. So
I think if Allen has a good game and him and Diggs connect, he'll win. If Allen has a game like he had 2 weeks ago, I don't know that he can't with 2 low scores.
Yeah. Well, he's got a nice matchup against the Colts. So
He does.
unless it's the only issue I think would be like weather. But they throw a lot, man. The thing with Buffalo offenses, man, they throw a lot. I mean, Corey, you had Zach Moss, I've got Devin Singletary. You think that those running backs would score more points in that offense, but they throw 24/7, and they got a lot of guys to throw
And
to.
Josh Allen runs too, right? So
And he runs. Yeah,
I think he's probably their leading rusher. I don't know that, but I feel like he is.
he might be. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he is. I bet he's pretty damn close. I mean,
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, he's
All
got
right.
300. Yeah. So anyway.
Kibasi King's biohazards. You can't say the Kings.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, I think some of it probably depends on what happens with Clyde, Edwards-Helaire, right? Does Kabasa have Helaire? Let's see here.
No, Kibasi King has J.D. McKissick as his starting running back. Darrell Williams.
Yeah, I think some of that probably depends on what happens with Damian Harris coming back if he's going to be out another week. Looks like Denver's on a bye, so that's a little tricky. Simeon on the other end. Eesh.
Yeah, but
He's a kind
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see if Kyler Murray might play. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Murray, yeah.
I will bet $1 million that Kings doesn't win this game.
Wow.
Maybe
you
they
betting
figured,
that
maybe they,
against?
I tell you what though, maybe they figured it out with Carolina. Maybe Carolina's figured some shit out. CMC's back, playing Washington.
Yeah.
Off a big win, it's not a bad situation to walk into. Pittman, I like a lot. Jerry Jeudy. I mean, if he can get guys healthy, he should win, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put my money on the Hazards.
Yeah.
It's kind of a must win for him too, right?
Yeah, everything's a must win at this point for everybody, I think.
For everybody, yeah, definitely.
Blues Bionic.
I feel pretty good about my situation now. I would prefer to. Gordon's not great, but I feel like he gets enough touches to make some waves. It'll be a little tight because Tyreek Hill on the others. Maybe they figure things out in KC. I don't know. I might give. I think it'll be close.
You got a lot of buys too. You got Jefferson gone, Michelle gone, Gordon gone.
You don't even have a kicker.
You're going to be running probably Tony Pollard, maybe Damian Harris if he plays, and then probably
Harris,
probably AJ Brown.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm going upset special. I'm going upset special right there. I'm gonna go Commandos, and I think KC figured it out. Throw the ball to Tyreek and let him run.
No.
And he's gonna have Mike Williams in there versus Pittsburgh.
No, we know Mike Williams sucks.
Yeah, well,
as the last 5 games, the one Andy was like, "Scott, see ya."
Yeah,
I'm taking Commandos. That's the upset right there. That's my window. That's the War Pigs window back into the race right there is this week.
All right.
I don't trust Derek Carr. I don't trust Boston Scott. I don't trust Corey Davis. I don't trust Bionic Commandos. I'm going Honolulu Blues. You heard it here first.
All right.
That's rude, Jeff. Why you gotta be rude about it? God.
All right. I like it.
War Pigs Sticky Bandits. I'm not gonna look. Sticky Bandits is not gonna win. War Pigs wins. Just fucking with you, Ryan. Let me look real quick.
He's got Henderson on bye. That's the big one
That'll help him.
that he'll be missing. So he'll be running probably Alex Collins out there because he
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
have
not
anybody
gonna work.
else.
That's not.
Yeah.
That's not.
And
good.
then we'll see who my quarterback is. Other than the quarterback, this is the best lineup I'll have started the entire year.
It's the best line you've had in 5 years. What are you talking about? You got
Well,
Joe.
I won 2 years ago, so
You had a
careful
good
with that.
lineup. You had Joe.
I still think this lineup is better than when I won. You're right.
Exactly. You got Mixon, Eckler, Devontae Adams, Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen, and Mark Andrews. That's as
Yeah.
good as any. I mean, fill in the blank on the quarterback, but
Yeah.
you got. I think
You
you
know,
won.
I think he's got a, I got to tell you, I think you're going to have a hell of a time with this one. This is, because he's got Zeke. They're playing the Chiefs. I would expect that to be a high scoring game. He's got Elijah Mitchell on the other end, who's got a pretty tasty matchup against the Dwyers. And then you've got to deal with Evans and Jefferson.
Oh, I don't think this is going to be a blowout by any means. I think I'm going to win, but I think it's definitely going to be close, and it could depend again on which scrub quarterback I pick off the waiver wire, and I'll probably pick the wrong one, and I might lose by 2 points again. So
No, talk to me. I'll help you pick out one this time.
we'll see.
Yeah. You've got, I mean, it's Thielen and Jefferson are kind of like, they kind of cancel each other out. The thing that's going to be tough for you too, the other thing that's going to be interesting is like Steelers offense is not that dynamic,
No.
but that helps you on the other end with Herbert. So it could be an interesting matchup,
I wonder if since Nando has 2 starting quarterbacks and you need one, if you guys could do like a little trade here on live on the air.
Yeah.
Well,
Give me
he doesn't
one for
need
nothing.
Rodgers. He doesn't need Rodgers.
I'll give you the 2025 first round pick if I don't win this season by 200 points.
All right.
Minus the line, which is
Wall Street Bullies,
minus 14.
Wall Street Bullies, bad company. I mean,
Wall Street Bullies, bad company. Here we go. That's a nice. I don't know about Hagler.
It's like watching 2 JV women's softball teams box.
So we know that Dave just sold half his team. He sold his best players or rented his best players. And I still think he's got a better lineup than Terry does. So
I agree.
I mean, look, but honestly though, you got DK Metcalf. Dylan just had a massive game. There's 0 chance Russell Wilson plays as bad as he just did.
Montgomery will play.
Hawkinson didn't have a catch for Detroit last week. Emmanuel Sanders, he can run him out there.
Montgomery.
Tyler Boyd does some things sometimes. I still think that's a better squad than the Bullies, honestly. So
I agree.
I agree with everything you just said. Unfortunately, Wall Street Bullies will use his voodoo magic and he'll make them score 35 points and beat them 37-35. You heard it here first.
37-35. No, less points in the fantasy game than in real life. That's what's going to happen.
That would be something. That would be something.
Last one is Lead Dogs and Cartel.
Ooh.
That one actually is going to be closer than people think also.
Lead Dogs coming off triple digits.
Mm-hmm.
And
easy defenses, most of them.
It's
Cartel.
got a nice little team.
Yeah.
Got a nice little team there, man.
Well, it's because Mandy picked it for him.
Yeah. So listen, you got Patterson questionable, Kamara questionable, CD Lamb questionable. Are you worried about any of those dudes, Jeff? Or you think they're all going to play?
Kamara, I'm worried about. Cardell Patterson won't play for sure. CD Lamb's fine. It's just a little muscle thing. He's going to play for sure. So I'm probably going to sit Patterson and play Carter. So I have I have Taylor, Carter, and Kamara, and then Hollywood and CD Lamb, Darren Waller, Lamar Jackson. If Lamar Jackson shows up and does what Lamar Jackson does, I should win, but Dak Prescott's not a slouch either. So it's going to be a close game, I think.
You do got +2 if Prescott throws to Lamb, you got the +2 there on your end.
No, Prescott's on his team now. We straight him.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got +2. You get more points if he throws it to Lamb, right?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I don't know about this game.
It's gonna be a tough one.
I think It's going to be closer than you think, but I think Cartel wins anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Smith is nice though. I like Smith. Devonta
Oh,
Smith,
yeah.
he's looked good. He's a real deal.
He's good in those
Um,
Heisman House commercials too. Good
He's
actor.
hilarious. He is hilarious. He's always got this like clueless look on his face. You know, he's like one of the best young receivers in the NFL, but he's always kind of like.
Does he
you
not
know,
look
got
like a
this
little kid? I mean, he could
he
pass for
totally looks
17
like a
years
kid.
old, right?
Yes,
That dude looks like
yes.
he's 17.
He looks like a kid. It's
He's a
hilarious.
toothpick.
He's
His
so
face,
good.
no facial hair. It looks like a little kid.
Yeah, yeah, I know, and he's so good. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So yeah.
All right, guys. Let's wrap this
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, this was
All
great. Nandu, thank you so much. Corey,
Yeah, it's good seeing you.
Thanks
we'll
for
see
coming on,
you
dude.
next week. Good luck to everybody except for Rodney.
Yeah.
See ya.
Good luck to everybody
Later.
except for Nandu. Good job.
All
right, guys.
All right, bye.
Have a good week, guys.
You too. Bye.